What did you see as the biggest reason for the deficit in the first quarter and then eventually at the end of the first half?
I mean, the trip we just came off, you don't want to use excuses. Sometimes they're not excuses. They're just real-life circumstances. And we knew in order to make a game of it and give ourselves a chance, we had to start the right way. And, obviously getting in very late, dealing with some different types of weather and different elements, it was going to be tough. And so, but still, our group was competitive. The game could have been easily over in the first half. But again, we calibrated at halftime. Guys came out, competed their butts off, tried to give us a chance to win, and we didn't come away with the W. But I'm super duper proud of our team on the way they performed tonight after getting down and facing a little bit of adversity within the game, but also just over this last stretch of weeks and month, whatever it's been. Guys just constantly fighting and clawing, and we've mishandled a couple games here and there in terms of allowing teams to stay close or get back into it, whatever. But nonetheless, this is a prideful, competitive group, and we had some things that just didn't go our way, and it was definitely a lack of energy at the outstart and lack of execution. But we pulled ourselves together to try to give ourselves a chance, and that's all you can ask for.
Ty Lue played Kawhi, I think, 43 minutes the whole second half. Was it difficult for you to think about trying to match some of that by extending AD or LeBron, considering the back-to-back and third and four nights and things along those lines? Yeah,
we went over, but they got into a groove, and you just try to be as responsible as possible with your players' health. So it was no way we were going to allow it. We were going to be able to do that, and our medical staff was going to allow us to do that. So they did what they had to do to get a win, and we did what we had to do to give ourselves a chance to win, not only tonight, but to keep our players in good standing health-wise going forward.
You said, so there was a minutes limit tonight for LeBron and AD. Was that kind of?
Range. Wasn't really a limit. Range, and again, it's a group decision. We try to manage and be responsible with their rotation early on, and if we pocket a few minutes and dole out extra minutes in the second half, then we do that, and we did that kind of tonight. But it is what it is. The game's over.
There was, I think, with about 6 minutes ago, there was a timeout. You guys were down like 18 or something like that, and you kept your team in the game. Why did you do that? And then what was the value that you saw from that last 6 minutes together?
Well, just trying to give them a chance to compete. We had some balls that didn't bounce our way. Got caught in some bad positions defensively, had to foul. We were making a miss, and then we had some, unfortunate, a couple of nights, without just watching the game, just trying to replay it in my memory. Had a couple of misfortunate offensive possessions, but we also had some moments where, we made some shots, and the guys' energy in their eyes said, let's try to give this thing a chance. But we talked about it in that huddle. Saying we want to give it a couple of minutes before we pull the plug to see if we can make a dent into the deficit. And we did that, but it's just saying you can't go back and forth with a team. You can't trade baskets. You got to get consistent stops, and you got to, make sure you get a foul, a bucket, both of those, or three, or something like that, and keep your side of the scoreboard moving as well.
How did those guys, specifically LeBron and AD, come out of the game tonight? Physically, everything okay?
Well, they'll go through a normal post-game recovery and check in with the medical, but for all intents and purposes, they're fine.
And then Norman Powell had just a huge game. What issues did you guys have with him? And there's only so many options when a guy's that hot and that physical. But what kind of problems did he present for you?
I mean, just normal Norman problems. He can score at all three levels. He's tough. He can defend. He rebounds. He gets out in transition. He can handle the ball and make the right play, not only for himself but for his teammates. And he's one of my favorite players to watch, and has been so since his Toronto days. And it's just he's one of the most underrated players in our league, and a huge asset for them to be able to bring a guy like that off the bench with championship pedigree.